What's up, Foundation? What's up, YouTube? It's me, your big partner cartoon, the Village Storyteller. Man, I'm back again with another one, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I always say, if I drop one on Cartoon 5-3, I'm gonna drop one on the Village Storyteller too, man. Listen, it's late, so I'm gonna get straight to it. I know y'all anxious, because I done seen in the comments already on the other channel, like, Toon, what's up? Where's our story on the Village Storyteller? So here it is, man. Let's get straight to the point. Hold up, because that little dog just done ran down them stairs. And I'm knowing, look, I don't know. Look, I don't know. Soon as I go to talking, I already hear him back there doing something. Man, I got a ooh-wee knot on my head. That got to go. But anyway, whatever the dog gonna do, he gonna do, y'all. Bump it. Anyway, man, this is a story, man. I'm gonna just go into it. Cause I don't want to give y'all no synopsis of it, cause y'all be trying to figure stuff out. Y'all smart. Well, the foundation members real smart. I can't tell y'all too much at the beginning, cause y'all gonna know. It's like when you pick up a new book in the library and you go, you read the back. Now you know. I ain't gonna do none of that. Just check it out. Man, the girl. Her name is Lyric. Lyric come up in a nice home, y'all. She had a mother, had a father, and was doing real good. Lyric, they stayed in Maryland. And she had a good childhood, come up, no problems. You know what I'm saying? She was a good girl. She was the only child, though. She didn't have no brothers or sisters. She had cousins and you know, stuff like that. But she was a lonely child. She was the only child. And she would get lonely sometimes, man. But now she got through that. You know, she straight A student. She did good in school. But now her parents raised her kind of sheltered. They didn't let her get out and do a whole lot of things. She wasn't able to really experience clubs, you know, a lot of times just going to the mall with her friends whenever she wanted to, and running, you know, staying out late at night. She didn't, you know what I'm saying, she didn't experience, you know, no weed, drugs, cigarettes, alcohol. She didn't do it. You know, her mother and father stayed on her. They stayed on her. When I say they stayed on her, they was on her, y'all. Ain't nothing in there no more. Uh-oh, I got to thug it out. But anyway, so listen, as she got older, she made a mistake, y'all. She ended up making a mistake. With her being raised sheltered the way she was easy prey to a slick talking slicker. You know what I'm saying? Any type dude that pushed up on her and had good game, he was going to be able to knock her off. And that's what happened to her. When she was around 17, y'all, she met a dude. Man, this dude, you know what I'm saying? Now, he was gang affiliated. He was a disciple. And she didn't really know nothing about all that. And he wasn't quick, quick to explain it to her. But on sight, when she first seen him, when he pushed up on her and started talking to her, she liked him. The things he was saying, she had never heard before. You know what I'm saying? And she was a pretty girl. She was a real pretty girl. But she was so sheltered that when the dudes at her school would talk to her or try to talk to her, she would just, clutch her books close to her chest and just walk away real quick. You know what I'm saying? She just didn't, want nothing to do with it because she didn't want her mother or her father being mad at her. She didn't want her mother or her father being mad at her. So anyway, old boy was a little bit older than her. He was a little bit older than her. And so he knew what to say. He knew how to say it, when to say it, where to say it. He knew how to touch her arm. He knew how to touch her chin. You know what I'm saying? Touch her neck. And with him not going to the school she went to, he never really had to put up with trying to say stuff to her at school and everybody was looking, because she was real conscientious and she was real shy. So now he would always see her coming home from school because he was out on the corner selling dope with his homeboys, with his folks. Y'all know. But anyway, so After so many times of her coming home and he was like, hey, 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 hey. You know what I'm saying? He started talking to her. She fell susceptible to his charms. She fell weak to his charms. Which, you know, a young girl, sheltered, coming up in the city, would do. He knew what to say. She was number 17. He was 24. So she was real enamored by him being an older guy. You know what I'm saying? Even though, truthfully, they both were kids. But now at her at 17, going on 18, and him being 24, going on 25, she looked at him as a real old guy. Y'all know how it went. But anyway, he sweet talked her, schmoozed her. You know what I'm saying? And he started giving her rides home. But now, it took a minute because she was a little scared. But he talked to me, man, get in the car. Man, I'll take you home. Come on. So she started telling him about her mother and her father. Now, I can't let my mother and my father see me pull up with you in the car. They ain't going to understand it. They going to have a fit. They going to go crazy. So he let her know, look, baby girl, don't worry about it. I'm going to pull up and drop you off at the corner. And so she was like, okay. And they started doing that for a while. They started talking on the phone at night. She was giggling, having fun. He's saying the things to her that she really wanted to hear. So now as time went on, you know what he's shooting for. She was a virgin. He wasn't. Man, he talked to her. You know what I'm saying? She had never been kissed before. She had never been touched in the places that he was touching her in. She fell susceptible to his game. They end up having sex in the back seat of his car. And it scared her at first, but now as it went on, as the act went on, she got into it. And she became all right with it. So anyway, they start doing this on a regular. Y'all already know. She got pregnant. So when she got pregnant, man, she tried to hide it from her mother and her father. But, things like that you just can't hide. Some things you just can't hide. And she couldn't hide hers, especially from a mother that you live in the house with. So one day her mother confronted her. Come here, girl. Open up your shirt. Why, mama? I said, girl, open up your shirt. And she opened it up because she started wearing the big coats and stuff all the time. She was scared. She didn't know what to do, y'all. She didn't know nothing about being pregnant. She was scared of what her mother and her father was going to think, what they were going to do. She didn't know nothing about, she heard of abortions. She didn't know if that was the route she could take, but she knew she couldn't take it at the age she was because she was going to have to go through her mother. And that was the last thing she wanted, was for her mother to find out that she was doing grown woman things and messed around and got pregnant. So anyway, as time went on and, moms caught it that day, man, her mother had a fit, her father had a fit. And all they kept doing was asking her, who's the father? Who's the father? Who's the father? Who's the father? She didn't want to tell it. So now, here it is. Her mother said, okay, you leaving here. You got to go. You can't stay here no more. You cannot stay here no more. So they end up sending her to Los Angeles with her aunt. They sent her there. She was about 6 months pregnant when she landed in LA, y'all. Her auntie was a little bit more lenient. Her auntie understood things a little bit better than what her mother would. But now her mother figured, well, her auntie was going to be able to, tame her and handle it a little bit better. She didn't want the embarrassment of her unwed child having a baby and all her friends seeing it. So that's why she sent her away, y'all. She sent her away. 3 months go by. She was still in school. She was going to graduate. She had just a few more months before she graduated. One day in class, her water broke. Her water broke in class. And they rushed her to the hospital. She went to the hospital. She started going in labor. Her auntie, of course, her auntie came down. And, of course, her auntie called her mother and her father and told her what was going on. Okay. Her auntie had a little pool, though. Her auntie had a little juice, a little pull. She ended up having the baby. They brought the baby to her. She looked at the baby. She was glad to see the baby. Then they took the baby away. So now she asked, where's my baby going? Where's my baby going? Where's my baby going? Oh, well, we have to clean her up. We have to do this. We have to do that. We're gonna put her in a room and you'll be able to see her. I'm sorry to say, y'all, she didn't see that baby no more in that hospital. She kicked and screamed and started hollering, where's my baby? Where's my baby? And her auntie got in her ear and told her, look, I'm doing what your mother and your father asked me to do. She was like, I want my baby. I want my baby. I want my child. She was like, no, you can't. You can't. So now here it is. The only thought that she had left in her head was the last picture, the last vision of her son, because it was a little boy. The last vision of her son that she's seen. And she always remembered that he had a weird shaped birthmark on his chest. It was almost, it would put you in the mind of like a small hummingbird, like a bird. But it was just a dark dark reddish birthmark. But it looked like a bird in flight. She remembered that. She always ran that reel back in her head. But now, she felt defenseless. She felt like there was nobody on her side. She felt like it was nothing she could do. So she just balled up in the fetal position and cried and accepted it. Eventually, she got out the hospital, y'all. And her auntie sent her back to Maryland with her mother. Her and her mother reconciled, because she was mad at her mother and her father for a long time. But now, of course, she ended up getting over it. Y'all. She ended up becoming old. She ended up graduating from college with a degree in criminal science. And she went on to become a police in the streets of Maryland. She stopped being a police and she said, you know what? I want to go work in corrections. So she switched her occupation and she went and she became a correctional officer in a state prison. She had been in there for maybe about 6 years now. She had made it to sergeant. She was doing good. Her confidence was up. She wasn't the same little small girl, the small child that she was. By this time, her father had passed. Her mother, her mother had gotten older. But she was living her life. She had a boyfriend, but she couldn't get pregnant. And she always wanted another child. But she just couldn't get pregnant. She had been to doctors. She had took fertility pills. She did everything she possibly could do to get pregnant. But it just wasn't happening. So she had got to the point to where she like, you know what? I'm not even gonna worry about it. If push come to shove, I'll end up adopting, but I'm happy with just me and my husband. They was living high on the hog. They was doing good. He owned a construction company and plenty of money. They didn't have no worries. All right, so anyway, but now she wasn't slow no more because her years working in the prison, it gave her, it gave her a little moxie. It gave her a little, a little understanding on what's really going on in the world and things like that. Every day inmates trying to get by on her, trying to trick her, trying to talk her into something, trying to talk her out of something, trying to shoot their game and get at her. She was way beyond that stuff by this time, y'all. She was way beyond that. It didn't even register to her no more. But anyway, she ended up moving and transferring from the part of the prison she was working in, And she ended up transferring to a whole another side of the prison. And so when she got over there, you know what I'm saying, she started, getting acclimated with who was who and what is what and what was going on. So, the regular guards that was over there, you know what I'm saying, she was new sergeant. They told her, you know what I'm saying, who was the shot callers, who to look out for, you know what I'm saying, the whole hookup. You know what I'm saying? And like, he is the one, this will do, blah, 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 this and this. So she like, okay. She said, I'd just like to know. So they told her about a white dude. He was Aryan Brotherhood. He was a real go-getter, y'all. He was a bad actor. And they let her know about him, keep an eye on him. So then they let her know about one of the Mexican guys that was in there. He was over a Mexican gang that they had out that way. He ran everything. Really, what they was trying to let her know is, okay, if you have a problem with the whites, go to him. If you have a problem with the Mexicans, go to him. So now when they got to the black dude, and they told her, they said, okay, now look, he's a real go-getter too. You know what I'm saying? He runs his group with an iron fist. So she was like, yeah, okay, all right. So they were like, well, what's his name? He said, and they told me, they said, that's Danny Boy. Danny Boy, okay. Danny Boy, they look, if you got like a lot of stuff that's wrong, or you got to keep, calm something down before it gets started, go to Danny Boy. She said, okay. So then, it was the Asian crew that was in there. Told them about the Asian crew, who to go to, and boom. So time going on. About a couple of months passed by, and you had two black dudes that was getting ready to get into it in the day room. She happened to be working the block that day, and when she came in, she seen the standoff. And she seen one of the dudes had knives. So in her mind, eventually she said, okay, they probably both got knives. But now, with her being, boom, she went over there to him. She said, look, we ain't got to do this today, y'all. We ain't got to do this. They like, what you talking about? Like, look, she already told him. She said, look, I seen what was going on from up top. I know y'all trying to get into it. But basically, she was to the point, she said, look, I tell y'all what. She said, I know you got a knife. She told the other one, she said, I don't know if you got one or not. But if he got one, I'm probably sure you got one. She said, I've seen it. She said, now I can easily hit the code. And bring the guards in. Said, okay, we gonna sit down. But now it looked like that the two different groups, because one guy was from a group and one guy from another group, it looked like that these two groups were finna get into it royally. She went to Danny Boy. She said, Danny Boy, listen, I'm not trying to lock y'all down. I'm not trying to lock the prison down. She said, but now I see what's brewing. If you can, man, shut that down. Shut it down. Because once it go and once we lock this prison down, you already know the goon squad coming in, they going to tear the prison up. Any and everything that y'all got that y'all don't want nobody to know, that you don't want the guards to take, you need to shut it down then. Because it's going to stop whatever business dealings y'all got going on up in here. It's going to stop everything. So Danny Boy looked at her. Danny Boy was the type of dude, you know what I'm saying? He didn't want nothing to do with the police. He didn't hold no long conversations, would have been none of that. So only thing he told her, he said, you know what, man, I see what I can do. He handled it. So as time goes on, Danny Boy got into it. And dudes knew that Danny Boy was a real go-getter. And so what they did, they attacked Danny Boy in the shower. Two dudes stabbed him up in the shower. Tried to kill him. He didn't die. Police end up coming, boom. They end up getting Danny Boy. They end up rushing Danny Boy to the infirmary. Don't look like Danny Boy was going to make it. Man. They needed to give Danny Boy a blood transfusion. But the thing about it was, man, Danny Boy had a real rare blood type. And they didn't have the blood that Danny Boy needed to survive in the prison. because it was so rare. So it looked like that he wasn't going. So anyway, he wasn't going to make it. He would have to get flown out. But it don't even look like he was going to make it for the helicopter to come, seems like. So anyway, you know what I'm saying? They cutting Danny Boy's clothes off, you know what I'm saying? They trying to patch him up, bandage him up. They trying to do everything they can to save Danny Boy's life. But boom, with her being a sergeant that was working that day, she ended up coming down with the captain and other people, and they explained it to the captain and her, she is sergeant, that it looked like that that this inmate's not gonna make it. So she like, dang. She didn't really pay a lot of attention to it, you know what I'm saying? She seen this type get down every day. She had become jaded. It didn't really bother her no more. So anyway, her and the captain ended up going in to see Danny. You know what I'm saying? Danny was unconscious anyway, but they just wanted to see him. You know what I'm saying? So when she walked in the room, Danny had no shirt on or no nothing, but he had a blanket, he had a sheet up around him. The first thing she seen on Danny Boy's chest was a weird looking birthmark that looked like a bird. And she like, wait a minute. She said, what? She said, where's this inmate's file? Boom. She got his file real quick and she looked through it. And she seen where he had caught his case in Maryland, but he was originally from Los Angeles. And she just shook her head. Her head went to spinning. She got this. She said, no, it could be. So she asked the doctor. She said, what's wrong? Why is he not gonna make it? And they explained to her about his blood type. And that, they don't have it. It's so rare that they don't have it. And she thought in her mind, no, stop it. She thought in her mind, no, it can't be. It can't be. She was dizzy. It can't be. She told the doctor, she said, right now, she couldn't even talk no more, y'all. Take some of my blood. They took a little bit of her blood. She told him, test it right now. Test it. And it took a little while, and they come to find out that she had the same blood type as Danny Boy. So she said, hook us up. Hook us up right now. They hooked her up to Danny. And she donated her blood, y'all. She donated her blood. That's what saved Danny's life. That's what saved him, y'all. He went out to the hospital. He ended up coming back, but he went to not to the main part of the prison that they were in. They went down to where people that's convalescent coming back. And she went to him and she questioned him. What's your mother's name? What's your father's name? He gave her the name that he knew. Of course, these were adoptive parents. And she asked him, well, why are you in Maryland? He said he came to Maryland to rob a bank with his partners that were from here that he met in L.A. But he happened to get caught. So she asked him a whole lot of other questions. And he looked at it. He said, look, check this out. Check this out, Sarge. Why you asking me all these questions? What's up? And she looked him in his eyes. She said, the reason why I'm asking you these questions, she said, because you my child. He said, what? She said, you my child. Peace Foundation.